What if I told you that most Americans don't know the very system they swore to defend? According to the 2022 National Assessment of Educational Progress, only 22% of American 8th graders scored proficient in civics, better than the 18% in U.S. history. Whether by design or not, this is a huge problem. How do we understand the world if we're not taught the historical context? How are we to protect our rights if we don't even know them? Not enemies, not corruption. Ignorance is the greatest threat to American democracy. We hear words like freedom, patriotism, civic duty, but how many of us can actually explain how our government works or why it matters? In 2025, as authoritarianism rises, as disinformation floods our feeds, as apathy eats away at responsibility, being American means more than paying your taxes and the color of your passport. Being an American means more than voting every 4 years in presidential elections. Nearly 90 million Americans couldn't even be bothered to do that in 2024. People you probably know, maybe even you. This is your American Citizenship Guide. Not a list of facts, but a moral compass for navigating the storm we're in. Citizenship is not just a status. It's a practice, a mindset, a daily act of stewardship. So let's ask the most basic and most important question. What is government for? It's not for profit or control. Government exists to protect the common good, to organize our collective will, to keep us from chaos and tyranny. For centuries, Americans were taught a civic religion, the Constitution as scripture, the founders as prophets. But today, civic literacy is collapsing. Here's what every American should know. The 3 branches of government. The legislative branch, Congress makes the laws. Executive, the president enforces the laws. Judicial, the courts interpret the laws. They were designed with checks and balances to keep any one branch from becoming a king. But here's the twist. Those checks only work if you know how to use them. If you don't know your rights, someone else will decide them for you. Your roles as a citizen: vote not just for president, but for school board, sheriffs, judges. Speak, protest, petition, participate. Learn. Civics isn't just for students, it's for survival. Citizenship isn't passive. It's a job. And the job description includes holding power accountable, even if it wears your party's colors. Now for the tools of citizenship. The Constitution is a living document, not a fossil. The Freedom of Information Act, your right to know what happens in town halls, city councils, and public records. Democracy isn't in DC, it's on your street. The threats to democracy today? Democracy faces enemies not in uniform, but in disguise. Disinformation. Truth is no longer agreed upon. Voter suppression. Laws that silence voices by stealth. Authoritarian creep. Leaders who attack institutions, courts, journalists. Democracy doesn't die in one night. It dies in apathy, in ignorance, in excuses. Democracy doesn't end with a bang. It ends when millions quietly stop paying attention. And that's not some distant threat. It's happening right now. With every passing day, our power to make real change slips away. Let's be clear. Only relentless, peaceful action will turn the tide. We must fill the streets in protest, and we must all commit to a general strike. Not for politics as usual, but until democracy is restored and Trump is held accountable for treason. But here's the beautiful truth. You don't need to be a scholar or politician to be powerful. You just need to care enough to understand. Because being a citizen means believing your voice matters and then proving it does. Socially, we are fractured, tribal, online, but disconnected. Technologically, we're drowning in content, starving for context. That's why I created this video for you, and as you see in a moment, I'm going to bring some stuff in clearer focus for you. Economically, the gap between rich and poor is widening into a canyon. Politically, extremism is louder than reason. Physically, the Earth is warming, and governments decide who pays the cost. Artificial intelligence could be sentient in a few years, with not only billions of jobs at risk, but what impact will that have on the economy, society, and our very lives? All the while, in February of 2025, Trump removed several protections meant to safeguard us from AI, and in July, he further deregulated AI. For a great deep dive on what these deregulations mean, watch More Perfect Union's video, What OpenAI Doesn't Want You to Know, link in description. Donald Trump is so bad.
How bad is he?
The man needs his own warning label. I brought a lot of these points together in my video, Donald Trump is bad for your health. Watch that next. But I haven't done one on Trump and the dystopian AI world he's creating. Let me know in the comments below if you'd be interested in a video on that. And if you are, watch my dystopian Welcome to the Carousel, a Logan's Run-style satire music video on the world we live in today. Every force shaping your life is political. To ignore civics is to surrender your power to those who won't. If this opened your eyes, subscribe. Take the Renaissance quiz to see where you stand. Join this movement of informed citizens and read Ralph Nader's article in the description. Not left, not right, but alive to your responsibility. Here's the unpopular truth. Democracy isn't guaranteed. The founders didn't give us a perfect system. They gave us a fragile one and dared us to keep it alive. Now it's your turn. Comment below. What's one civic tool or concept you think every American should understand better, and why? Next episode, Your Silence Has a Cost and Why We Need to Create a Mass Movement. You'll want to hear this. If you're still here, you're probably feeling the frustration of the dissonance and ignorance you see around you. First off, let me tell you, you're not alone. I feel it every day. Thankfully, more and more Americans are waking up to see the world as it truly is and are wondering what they can do about it. And this isn't just an American phenomenon. Threats like this are happening around the globe. If you're ready to gain some deeper insights into history, civics, virtue, reason, compassion, philosophy, and ethics, and how all of this is related, here's some additional material I suggest. I recommend watching our series Democracy in Crisis, or engage with history through our first-person series, where Cicero gives his insights on modern America. Start with Cicero, My Life and My Fight Against Tyranny, to put the series in context. And if you're ready for an experience and deep dive into propaganda, a favorite tool of tyrants, watch Through the Lens 3, The Architecture of Control. Thank you for watching. You've just joined the Renaissance Spirit, a channel dedicated to a just, equitable, and humanitarian world. Here we explore history, politics, culture, religion, personal growth, and the lessons of civilization from ancient Rome to modern America. We believe the Renaissance isn't over. It's waiting inside anyone who chooses curiosity, courage, and conscience. Living the Renaissance spirit means engaging with history as a dialogue, not just with the past, but with the future. Our work is a message to posterity. Will they inherit justice and wisdom, or wonder why we failed to act? Subscribe, turn on notifications, and take our Renaissance quiz to see if you carry the spark. Because if history is collapsing in real time, someone has to narrate the fall and plant the seeds of what comes after. Viva l'esprit de la Renaissance. Live the Renaissance spirit. History has not died, only our understanding of it. Because the only citizenship that matters is the one we practice together. Still here? I have a challenge and a reward for your time and loyalty. Thank you. Here's the challenge. This week, ask just one friend if they know their First Amendment rights. Here's an example. Most people can tell you what the Second Amendment is about, guns, but we'll get to that in a second. But can they actually quote the First Amendment? Do they know it protects freedom of speech, religion, the press, assembly, and petition? That includes the right to protest. Here it is, the First Amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Ask one friend this week. You'll be surprised by the answer. Now, let's talk the taboo topic of guns. Everyone knows there is too much of violence and killings in America. Something has to change. So most people think the problem is the Second Amendment, and most people believe that it says everyone has the right to bear arms. But is that what it really says? Does everybody have the right to buy how many of whatever kind of weapons or guns they want? Or does it say only if you're associated with the military? Well, you tell me in the comments. Here's what the Second Amendment really says. A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. That's it, short and to the point, but is it? The framers wrote about muskets, reload, fire, repeat. Today, we have AR-15s. Pretending those are the same is bad history. Does it separate gun ownership from active or retired military service? Does it say anything about quantity, quality, or firepower? Does it even explicitly state that everyone has the right to bear arms? Nope. Another lie to support behavior that's bad for our democracy and bad for our health. All to the tune of tens of billions of dollars for an industry that has enough blood on their hands. I hope this explainer put things in perspective. And a fun fact, when I lived in Sacramento as a kid, my family took us out one weekend. Every weekend we took a trip. I certainly know where I got my curiosity bug from, to San Jose to the Winchester Mystery House. It was cool and creepy and fun. I recommend it if you're in the area. But I mention it because of what I was talking about earlier, about the gun lobby having too much blood on their hands. Sarah Winchester, widow of William Winchester, inherited bloody money, so much so that it drove her mad. And in her mind, if she could keep building her house, she would never die. She ended up building a very strange place, like one of those Hieronymus Bosch paintings. It's wild to visit, surreal, if not sad. When guns win, nobody wins. I love Helen Mirren movies. I haven't seen Winchester yet. Is it any good? Here's the twist. Even if you believe in the right to own a gun, does that right really extend to weapons that can kill dozens at once? The framers wrote this in a world of muskets, not AR-15s. That's why constitutional interpretation matters. There are two main schools of thought. The first is currently the only rational theory practiced. I'll explain why in a moment. It's called living constitutionalism/pragmatism. And yes, surprise, you're getting a mini crash course in constitutional law today. So what does living constitutionalism/pragmatism mean? Living constitutionalism says, the Constitution is a living document. Its meaning can evolve with society's changing values and realities. Judges read it in light of today, balancing precedent, reason, and consequences. Think Justices Brennan and Breyer. The core belief? Flexibility. The Constitution must adapt to protect rights the framers couldn't even imagine, like digital privacy in the age of smartphones. Okay, well, why did I say it's the only one being practiced? Well, because it is. Because prior to 2025, the conservative Republicans on the Supreme Court and many judges elsewhere claimed to be the other contemporary theory on constitutional law. They called themselves the originalists or the textualists. But in 2025, those same Republicans are not only upending precedent, often with very little or no comment on their rulings, but they are making rulings that are contradictory to their own theory. Frankly, it's just a power grab. All three of the branches of government. There is currently no separation of powers. But anyway, here's the gist of that apparently now debunked theory. Originalism or textualism theory said that the Constitution means exactly what it meant when written. Late 1700s for the original text, 1800s for the amendments. Judges under this theory stick to the words and their historical meaning, honoring what the framers intended or what the public understood at the time. Think Scalia or Thomas. The core belief? Stability. Judges shouldn't make law. They should apply what was written then. If society wants change, it should amend the Constitution, not reinterpret it. So you can see why it's debunked. As we said earlier, an AK-47 isn't the same as an 18th century musket rifle, and to pretend that it is, well, is just kind of stupid. When you ask the question, you're going to sound like an expert. There's a lot more to these topics, hence the below handout. You'll be surprised at your friend's answer. And now, your honored and well-deserved reward, that is, if you like my music videos. Up next, my music video, America. Wake up! I'll create this as one of my music videos in a day or two, but you get a sneak peek. Enjoy. Also, I'm starting a poll. I'll put the link in the description. Do you think that Trump is a fascist? Yes or no? Thank you for your time. I know how valuable it is, and I appreciate it. I hope you found this worth it. And thank you for living the Renaissance spirit. We all need to be reasonable, compassionate, and awake. Thanks, guys. And now, the exclusive full preview of America Wake Up.
today. Shake my head for my feet even hit the floor. That same voice again, the one on the radio, tells me who to blame. Like it's my morning prayer. My coffee tastes like shame and sleep, and I used to laugh along, but now it just feels hollow. Something in me shifted. I used to think I knew. I used to feel so sure, but now I see behind the glass and nothing's pure. Everyone sees the change, I see it too. But what do I do? America, wake up! The colossus weeps for what we've become. I was blind, but I was never dumb. I am the voice I need, no kings, no crown. Are you the hero of your own story now? America, wake up! Is this even America anymore? What is the song of your soul? Wake up! Wake up! You ever look in the mirror and see someone else? That was me, lost in ignorance and apathy, wrapped in flags I didn't sew, singing songs I didn't understand. I believe the promise, I sold the dream. Now I can't unsee the scene. I used to walk with pride, I used to chant the lines, but now I taste the silence that betrays the spine. Through the veil I found unbroken light, it's loud, but quiet where it counts. America, wake up! This isn't peace, it never was. For true, no, we don't need another season. What is real when the story's over? History is written by the brave and the bold. America, wake up! I am the voice I need, I finally heard. No tyrants, no kings, just me and this world. Found your way. Have you found your way? Everyone's a little bit mad in times like these, but madness can be the moment we start dancing, start marching to the drum of our own truth, the peace that never was.